Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Bloody hell, the time is going, isn't it? Bloody hell. Look, good morning, everyone. How you all doing? Welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, you legends, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please also don't forget to smash a like, guys, because it helps with all the algorithms and stuff like that. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Absolute diamonds. Look, I'm going to speak not only about you know what? I'm not going to give a rant today. I've given enough rants today, I think. But I am. I'm not going to be too positive either. But we're going to be talking about some transfer news in regards to Man United and what Man United need to do if they are to change this transfer window. And they don't have to spend a lot of money. And that's what I've been saying from the beginning. They don't have to spend a lot of money. What they need to do is they need to scout. They need to find players, guys. So I'm going to be delving straight into that very, very soon, guys. But thank you, everyone, for joining me. But first of all, I want to bring this in, guys. I want to bring this into the show. Let's have a look at this. Is going to be the basis. This is going to be like the foundation of the show, right, guys? So I'm going to add this to the stage real quickly. Okay, this is Jason Wilcox, okay? And what's his name? Who's that there? Look at him. That's not Jason Wilcox. That's Mr. What's his name? Who's that? Someone heading towards London. It's not Jason Wilcox. It's someone else. Someone heading towards London. Isn't that the guy who is supposed to be? Isn't that? Looks like Ashwood, doesn't it? Guys, you know what? I would just say, like, you know what? I've seen a lot of these kind of videos before. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? He's heading towards London. He's going to Spain. He's doing this. Just tired of it. You know what I mean? Just get on. We're the only bloody football club that does this kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't care less, to be honest with you, about it. But it was on, of course, basically it was on the Twitter hemisphere. That is not Wilcox, by the way. Someone said that's Wilcox. It's absolutely not. It's not Wilcox. It's absolutely definitely not Wilcox. I know what Wilcox looks like. Absolutely. Let's read some of your comments, guys. Hope you're doing well. We ain't rescuing shit, bro. The Glazers and Ineos are not fans of this club. Fans need to wake up in the mask. If they're not, the leeches will send this club to the underworld. Big up to Sam Houston. Always nice to have a little bit of a positivity early in the morning, isn't it, guys? Yeah, I agree. I said it yesterday. I gave a big speech about it yesterday about how these guys are not Man United fans. I mean, I get people. You know what you get. Like, some people can't take it. And I tell you, I give an example, right? Let me just give you an example. I'm going to give you an example of the way people are. Okay, so some people will accept that. Some people will say that's correct, but then you get the odd people who will come on your stream or come on your Twitter page, right, and tell you to F off. And that's what they do because they can't take it. They can't take it. They can't admit that they were wrong, that Jim Ratcliffe is not the guy to take Man United forward. That is the problem. And that was the stubbornness that we had during the takeover process. There are a few fans out there who just cannot accept the reality that you need owners like Qatar to progress in football these days. We didn't make the rules. We did not make the rules. Other teams did. Other teams, they got these type of owners. So for us to compete, we need this. Guys, we cannot run a marathon in flip-flops. You know what I mean? Because that is what we're doing at the moment. Running marathons in flip-flops. You know what I mean? I know another analogy came out. We're running a marathon in a flip-flop. That's what we're doing about it. Now, guys, I want to get into some transfer news. Obviously, people mentioned on the show before, but I want to talk about Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is a 20-year-old Norwegian international who currently plays for Brann, of course, guys, in Holland, in Norway, excuse me. Currently plays for FC Brann in Norway, and he is a centre-back at 20 years old. Now, look, guys, we don't really need a centre-back, so to speak. We got Aidan Heaven, we got Lenny Yoro, we got Mazaruri, we got, we even got like Kalungi. And these players, Hutchinson and these kind of players. Like, so what I would say is this, right? This great. It's great. 3.5 million euros worth valuation. Probably go up to about 10 million with Man United tax and that. But Erling Haaland is an interesting one. But I just feel like Erling Haaland we don't need this player at the moment. What Man United need, if they're going to get this type of player, Man United need to basically get an attacking version of this player. Do you know what I mean? An attacking version of this player. Because Man United need attackers, Man United need midfielders more than anything. We need a striker more than anything. And I've done my research, guys. Believe this. Believe it. I have done my research. And there are many strikers that Man United could possibly get at a cheap price. Even if they're 30 plus, even if their age is 30 plus, Man United can get players at a stopgap who can put the ball into the back of the net. Who are they? I hear you scream. We've got Adrian Martinez, who's one of the top scorers in Argentina last year, and he cost 3.5 million euros, guys. He plays for a racing club. Yes, he is 33 years old, but he knows where to put the ball. He knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. He scored goals for Racing Club last season. So, guys, look, centre forward. There you go. 3.5 million. If you listen, you can get quality striker. There's also a striker named Thomas Molina. Thomas Molina, who plays for Argentinos Juniors. He is 30 years old, and he is he bangs in the goals for fun. Centre forward, 2.5 million euros. Guys, I can go on all day. If Man United really wanted to, there are top scorers. You don't have to get kids. You don't have to get 19, 18, 19-year-olds. If you want someone who can put the ball in the back of the net, I urge you to look around the world, and you will find players around the world who can put the ball in the net. Gabriel Avalos, who plays for Independiente in Argentina. And I'm only talking about Argentina here. And he is 34 years old, but he's only worth $1 million. Guys, a stopgap. If we cannot afford a striker, there are strikers out there that Man United can get who can put the ball in the back of the net. Do you remember when Man United signed Teddy Sheringham about 33? You remember that? We got Berbatov pretty late as well, didn't we? When he was in his 30s and stuff. You remember that? So Man United could possibly do this. Do something. Show us that you can do that. And I could give you 100 players, guys. I really can. And players that have scored goals. If I go to the Brazilian league, Paraguayan league, Mexican league, I will find you players there that can score goals. But unfortunately, it just seems like they don't want to go down that direction because they're more interested in selling shirts than actually, concentrating what goes on the football pitch and who's going to score the goals, etc., etc. Big up UK Rap. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up Randall, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up Sanjay, good to see you. Good morning. Big up Albie, the legend Albie. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Really good to see you again. And big up Hesty. Thank you so much. Big up Hesty. Hope you're doing well. Big up. Good morning, Sal. Good morning, Kenny. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Big up Buzz. What's going on, Buzz man? Hope you're doing well. I agree with that. We don't need defenders right now. It's not a priority, but it's not to say that we shouldn't go in for these players because we can't afford them. They're cheap. Just get them through the door. And there are also other players out there, attacking sense, that Man United can get. Of course. Good morning, Chow. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Liverpool signed Isaac and Rodrigo, and they're going to win the 20 league. Unfortunately, we'll wait and see about that. We'll wait and see. I don't want to think about it at the moment. It's horrible. First thing in the morning, think about Liverpool winning the league. Absolutely not. Good morning, Sal. So I hope you're doing well. Whoever we are saying, I will be back. Let's hope we can get some good players in. We need them. Big up, Miles. Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, my friend. Hope everything is blessed with you guys. Big up yourself. John Murta, that's the one. Yeah, that's him. The clown. I know. I bought it as a joke. I bought Buzzman. I bought it in as a joke. You know what I mean? Big up. Fire. Morning, Sal. Bill, morning, Fire. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is blessed with you. Good morning, Sal. I hope you are good apart from Manchester United news. Look, you know what? We're going to try our best to be positive in this moment in time. In this moment in time, we're going to try our best to be positive, guys. That's what we're going to try. But you know what? We can't be too positive because we've been deemed toxic positivity. And that is true. We can't be toxic positivity, guys. And what I dislike is there are people out there with big platforms and big mouths, who are not turning against Ineos, not saying anything remotely negative. I wouldn't say negative, factual. I say factual. I'm not saying anything remotely factual about Ineos because they don't want to be deemed wrong. They don't want to have they don't want their opinion to be wrong because they back them to the bone, to the death when the takeover process was going on. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, Darren. What's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you again. Let's go higher, but Mbeumo joined Manchester United. Now, look, you know what? This Mbeumo deal has been absolutely, it's doing my head in. It is absolutely doing my head in, mate. And to be honest with you, I believe he will be a Man United player next season. That's it. He will be a Man United player next season. What's going on with Man United? And the deal is basically Man United want to pay installments. Man United want to pay it in their own way. Brentford want us to pay a full amount up front in regards to Mbeumo. Now, we could do two things. We can either pay up the money or just walk away. The problem is if Ineos walk away, they will be deemed weak. And from then on, then they will know, that they've wasted 2 months on one player and didn't get the job done. If they were going to walk away from this player, look, guys, we've been negotiating this transfer for 7 weeks, right? 7 weeks we've been negotiating this transfer. And we're no closer to a deal. Apparently, according to reports yesterday, we're no closer to a deal. Now, what does that tell you at all? What have we been doing? Have we been taking them out for a cup of tea, for a drink? Have we been just chatting, chit-chat? We're not got anywhere. Guys, if I was sat in front of someone, even if I was not a negotiator or a director or whatever like that, I would get further in negotiations in 7 weeks. They haven't got further in negotiations in 7 weeks because basically what they want to do, they've agreed a fee. The fee is agreed, but they want to pay it in their own way. Yet Brentford want the money up front. And this is where we're getting into the head-to-head between Brentford and Manchester United. Brentford, obviously, fair enough. They want the money up front. They want to buy a replacement for Mbeumo. That's what they want to do, don't they? So that is fair enough. Now, but what the thing is, right, if we were not going to do what Brentford said, and we knew adamantly that we were not going to do what Brentford said, we should have, at the beginning of negotiations, if they said, no, we want the money up front, if we can't afford the money, what we should have done is that we should have just turned around and said, okay, fine, goodbye, we move on to the next one. Unfortunately, they dragged this out so long, it's on the point of no return. They can't return now. They can't say, oh, well, we just have to leave this one now and go after someone else, because then they would look absolutely incompetent, won't they? Because they'll say, well, we've been talking to bloody Mbeumo for 7 weeks. Who does that these days? Who speaks to players for 7 weeks and doesn't get the job done? Do you know what I mean? What kind of ownership is that? Absolutely pathetic, isn't it? Big up, Pell. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. UK Dan Radcliffe loves Chelsea, not Chelsea United. He loves Chelsea. It's absolutely obvious. I said, instead of people telling me to F off on Twitter, what I said is that please show me an element of evidence that Jim Ratcliffe is a Manchester United fan in his 77 years, right, in this planet. Please show me some smiggling of evidence that Jim Ratcliffe is a Manchester United fan. Come on, guys, just show me one photo, one bit of evidence, one ticket transaction, something. Do you know what I mean? I want to see something to prove to me that Jim Ratcliffe is a Manchester United fan. It's absolutely not, is he, at the end of the day, guys? Absolutely not. Kenny, at this point, Gleaners couldn't afford flip-flops. Yeah, they couldn't afford flip-flops, mate. Absolutely. That's what we're doing, mate. We're basically in flip-flop mode. We're basically on the beach. That's what we're basically doing. We're on the beach, with a pina colada or whatever you takes your fancy, and that's what we're doing on this transfer window. Should we get down to business? No, we'll leave it another week. Do you know what I mean? Oh, look, Mbeumo. Oh, yeah, we'll do that next week. You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Guys, but ain't United the richest, biggest club in England? Low fat, mod fat. What's going on? Guys, Man United are the biggest and richest club in England, but whilst you've got owners who don't want to spend the money of Manchester United, who own the football club, then it doesn't really matter how rich Man United are. Because at the end of the day, you're only as rich as what your owners are. And that is what it is at the moment. You're only as rich as what your owners are willing to spend and what your owners are willing to invest in the football club. That is it. It doesn't matter. You could be the most richest person in the world. I could be a multi-billionaire, right? We could all go to the chicken shop, right? And if I'm not going to pull out my card and pay for everyone, for chicken for everyone, or vegetarian, if you're vegetarian, okay. If I'm not going to pull out my card and pay for everyone, it doesn't really matter if I'm a billionaire, doesn't it? It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, I'm not spending the money. So if I don't spend the money, it doesn't really matter if you're rich or not, because there you go. At the end of the day, we're not going to pull money out of our backsides, are we? And this is the whole thing. This is the thing why we don't want the Glazers at the football club, who've taken money out of the football club and not putting any money in the football club. And this is why we didn't want the Ineos to facilitate the Glazers at the end of the day, because it's basically now we've basically got a worse situation now. We've got two Glazers, but now we've got one Glazer 2.0, who doesn't want to spend money. So that makes it even worse, because the saving grace for the Glazers was that at least they spent a bit of money. Now we've got the man who's telling the Glazers, no, we're not going to spend. Leave it. Hold your horses. We're not going to spend. We're just going to take our time walking to the right decision. That's what we're going to do. That's what they've done. Despite Man United coming 15th, right? They're going to walk to the right decision, whilst Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Newcastle, and maybe even Spurs and teams that are going to be moving further and further away from us. And that is the problem, of course, guys. Mr. Chimpa, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, bro. How is the stance of Mbeumo transfer? The stance is pretty tough, mate, Mr. Chimpa. Man United can either pay up or shut up, and that's basically what Man United need to do. Either pay up or just go. Look, they've wasted enough time on this deal. This deal will be done. I'm firmly believing that this deal will be done. Man United will have Mbeumo next season. Mbeumo wants to come to Manchester United on the 2nd of June. He said that he wanted to come to Manchester United, which is absolutely incompetence for Man United's part, given that how long it's taken. Usually what happens to a normal football team is that when a player says, I want to go to that club, it generally gets done pretty quickly. Do you know what I mean? You know, unfortunately, we've taken a very long time doing this deal. So if Man United do walk away from this deal, it doesn't look very good, bruv. It doesn't look very good. It looks awful on them, you know, and then after that, we're never going to trust them again. Because this is having Murto vibes. This is why I posed that picture of that video of Murto, because it's basically Murto again, isn't it? This is why we got Murto vibes. This is why we're getting like, you know, not Barada, but Wilcox, Woodward vibes, etc. You know? Good morning, Gray. How are you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. Off to work early today, so have a good day. Please, everyone, smash the like. Thank you so much, Gray. You absolute legend. Thank you very much for that, bruv. Big up, everyone. Kit launch today. Yeah, look, you know what? I did predict that Man United would get the deal done by the kit launch. Doesn't look like that's going to be true, isn't it? But that wasn't a gospel. I just predicted. That was just like an analogy. That Man United would get something done today. There may be news today. You never know. There could be. The kit launch is today. I urge people not to buy it. I urge people not to go near it. It's a lovely shirt. Don't get me wrong. I like the shirt. But I urge Man United fans not to go near the kit launch, not to go near that shirt at all. Don't put money in the Glazers' pocket. We're becoming Youth FC. Big up, Natty. Big up, Randy. Big up, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Fire boy, Saya, no one going in Benjamin. But look, at the end of the day, the problem is, Fire, there's something there in regards to Benjamin Sesko. Arsenal negotiated for quite a long time with Benjamin Sesko, and they didn't get any progress in regards to that. So what makes us think that Manchester United can go in for Benjamin Sesko and get Benjamin Sesko if Arsenal couldn't get Benjamin Sesko over the line? So, you know, I don't want us to go in for Benjamin Sesko and be spending weeks on Benjamin Sesko trying to get him in, and we don't end up getting him. You know, and this is the problem. Now, Benjamin Sesko is not exactly prolific either. He's not exactly like a 30-goal-a-season man. He doesn't do that. 13 goals in, 33 appearances last season, for example. You know, so what Man United need to do, Man United need to find someone that they know that they can get who is his quality. And that takes scouting. That takes work. That takes investigating. That, you know, and that's what we can do for them if they wanted me to do at the end of the day. Big up, my friend. I'll be doing well. Martinez no better than Anana. He is better than Anana, mate. I think anyone who suggests that Martinez is less of quality than Anana, I think they need their little mullet checked, mate. To be honest with you, no offense, but yes, Martinez is better than Anana. You may not rate him as a high-class goalkeeper, but to say he's not better than Anana, mate, he won Argentina a World Cup, mate, and that's all I would say. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Onana's going to win anything, a Tin Pot Cup for anyone, anytime soon, mate. I've seen many goalkeepers in 40 years watching Man United, mate. 40 years watching Man United since the late 80s. I can tell you that Martinez is a better goalkeeper than Onana right now. Is he the goalkeeper I would choose? No, I'm not saying that. Mine is Senny the Men's. I want Senny the Men's. I think Senny the Men's is a quality goalkeeper. I think Man United should be going after goalkeepers of that ilk, right? But to suggest that Onana is not as good, is better than Martinez, I think that's way off, mate. And I'll be honest, mate, that's way off. He is not. Onana is not better than Martinez. And I'm not saying Martinez is some sort of elite goalkeeper, world-class goalkeeper. You can have your opinion on that. But that is not facts. That is not facts. Onana is not better than Martinez. Right? I would say that right now. You know, we can have our opinions, but absolutely not. Kit day launch, no, and Bremer Dill Sal. Yeah, well, then there you go. Then you know what? They probably get it done in a couple of days. So the kit gets released. The kit's released. The kit launch is happening. So Man United will wait till the kit launch has happened, and then they'll have Mbeumo with the kit. Don't worry about that. They wanted that anyway. They wanted Mbeumo with the kit. The kit wasn't released, so they couldn't release Mbeumo news because they didn't have the kit. And that's basically what it is. I guarantee you they'll have that. This is what they wanted. They wanted the kit to be released, so when the new players walk through the door, they can show the kit. That would be typical, isn't it? At the end of the day, And Dabby's as Emi Martinez put stats per season are similar to Onana. What are we getting more? What are we getting more? Ability, confidence. And you have to look at the mistakes. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's a much better goalkeeper, but I wouldn't do it for the price. He's a much better goalkeeper than Onana. Onana is not. Look, it's not just about stat padding. Dabby's as. It's not just about stat padding. What you have to understand is that who got to the Champions League? We don't get to the Champions League with Onana. We don't. We don't get anywhere near. He makes too many goal-changing errors. And that's what we need to eradicate from our game. Errors leading to goals. Onana has errors leading to goals. Martinez doesn't have errors leading to goals. And that's the most important stat for me as a goalkeeper. Onana has broken records with stats, goals, errors leading to goals. Forget about how many goals you conceded and this and that. Aston Villa far more attacking unit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Now let's look at World Cups and things like that. A man's played in the World Cup final. He's not my first choice, but we got to be fair here. We got to be fair here. Anyone who says that Onana is, he's not much better, I don't think you understand ball. I'll be honest with you, guys. You don't. He's a much better goalkeeper, but he's not the goalkeeper I would choose. Right? That is it. That is what, because I don't like his price. I think we can get Cedi Lamens. There's other goalkeepers out there who I've spoke about. Yesterday, I spoke about, of course, Thiago Pereira Cardoso as well. I've spoken about yesterday, a goalkeeper there. We got the Atalanta goalkeeper there. They've got goalkeepers out there who could do a good job. But Onana is useless. Useless goalkeeper. He's the worst goalkeeper who's won a shot, and I think he's worse than Taibbi. You know what I mean? So let's talk facts here. Then why are we not signed Jamie Vardy? Because Jamie Vardy's legs are gone, low fat, mo fat. If you know about football, Jamie Vardy's legs are gone, mate. He's even admitted himself he can't play in the Premier League anymore, low fat, mo fat. He can't play football anymore. He's in his 40s. I'm not talking about players in their 40s. I'm talking about he's near his 40s. I'm talking about players who are like 30, 31, 32. Not 40, because there is a big difference between that. Do you know what I mean? So what I would say is that if Man United want a stopgap, there are players out there Man United can get for 3 million. Jamie Vardy is finished, and he knows he's finished. He knows it. Revat7. Good morning. By the way, new names we link to. Big up, my friend. Just been mentioning some. Big up yourself. What we need now is a player who knows how to press goals. We have a lot of defenders already. Yeah, that doesn't mean we just ignore the defense. We lost Evans and we lost Lindelof. We're talking about news in regards to Man United. We know we need strikers. You don't need to tell us, Mr. Timper. We know what we need. All right? You know what I mean? We're here every single day. Of course, big up. Dabby's ass. It was a fan theory, so I wasn't buying into it. Big up. Good morning, Sal. Thanks for the early stream. How about outgoings and you predict? I think I'm going to give a prediction, guys. I will give a prediction. I think I think that Garnacho would go. I think Anthony would go. I think that Garnacho would go. I think that Sancho and Rashford. I think Sancho will go, Rashford will go on loan. That's my prediction. I think that's what's going to happen in this window. Absolutely. Big up, Dabby. Sesko said no to Saudi. He wants a European football. United might have the chance. I don't know, man. Whatever will be like. Yeah, you want a player who scored 13 goals and 33 appearances. That's worse than Rasmus Højlund in the Bundesliga. I don't know, man. Whatever we will be. Currently, the club is a mess. People are talking about Jackson, right? People are talking about Jackson. Let's get Jackson. Jackson's got 1 goal in 20 games for Senegal. 1 goal in 20 games for Senegal. You know how many Rasmus has got? He's got 8 goals in 28 games. So what's the difference here? Rasmus plays in the European, which is a much harder competition. You know. Big up my friend Mbeumo. Big up yourself, Abbas. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Hope everything is blessed with you. Good to see you. Of course. Yeah, it was a fan-made theory. Don't sign Emi Martinez. Go VTech. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what I would do, Charlie. I wouldn't sign Martinez. I wouldn't. And this is exactly what I said. I would rather get over the young player. First of all, I would give VTech a chance. If I said many, many times in the stream, I would give VTech a chance. I'll see what VTech could do, because we could save money, guys. You know, we could save money at the end of the day. Man United chasing the dragon. Big up, Randy. I do not think Mbeumo will be in pre-season. It will cost Amram the job if they do not want to spend money. Why did they hire Amram? Absolutely, Natty. Spot on, my friend. That is true. Why did they do that? Insanity, isn't it? Brentford to United. Stay on, Bola. Goodness me. God blimey. Heard that one before. VTech deserves a chance. Big up, Randy. I agree with that, Randy. Absolutely. Sal, did you play in goal when you play football? How high do you rate Emi Martinez, lad? I rate him highly. But not as highly as a Manchester United highly. What I like about him is his personality and his domineering effect. And people look at him and say, oh, stats and stuff like that. We can look at Schmeichel. I can go back to Schmeichel conceding 6 against Southampton, 5 against Newcastle. I can do that all day long if you want me to. At the end of the day, goalkeepers concede goals. No shit, Sherlock. That happens sometimes. But what we have to understand is that the goals, mistakes lead into goals. Errors leading to goals. That's what we need to eradicate. Does the goalkeeper bring an air of confidence to the team? Does he create anxiety? Does he create indecisiveness? That's what you need to look at. And when you look at, we got eyes last season. We saw Harry Maguire and Onana getting confused with each other, and Harry Maguire ended up kicking the ball out into touch. And all Onana needed to do was catch it with his hands like that. He's made too many mistakes for him to be classed as a Manchester United goalkeeper. If it was Alex Ferguson, Onana would have been out the door a long time ago. He makes too many mistakes. And when your goalkeeper makes mistakes, seldom, it literally ends in a goal, doesn't it? Absolutely. Dabizas, fans have started turning on Amram now. It is inevitable. Inevitable for dum-dums. Yeah, it is inevitable for dum-dums. People turning against Ruben Amram are absolutely stupid. I mean, we heard the Ashley Young comments, of course, which were absolutely misinformed, idiotic. These people might as well wear Glazonomics t-shirts. That's what they might as well do, because at the end of the day, blaming Amram for what? He's got one player in, for goodness sake. And he's still got the toxic players at the football club that needed to leave the football club ages ago. What an absolute ridiculous theory that these fans are. Are they fans or are they just stupid? You know what I mean? They're just ridiculous. And I said this. You're going to get it. You're going to get your rants and bants who haven't got a blipping brain in there between their ears. Echo. Tuk, 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 tuk. No one, you know what I mean? That's what they got. You're going to get Said. You're going to get all these guys. You know, get him out. Get him out. Flabby. You're going to get that. You know what I mean? You're going to get that next season, sweating when you're talking. You know, when people sweat when they talk. You know what I mean? Them sort of people. You know what I mean? Bloody hell, lose calories when they're talking. You know, the thing is, right, because their neck's moving so much. Get them out my club. Get them out my club. You know, these people, do you know what I mean? They're absolute idiots, man. And I'll tell you that. And they use their platforms to just attack the manager. Listen, guys, they will kiss Jim Ratcliffe's butt. That's what they do. They do. You don't hear them saying, get those Ineos out, get the Glazers out. You never hear them saying that. Those guys, you never hear them saying that. Why don't they say that? Why don't they? You know, why don't? Because it doesn't get them clicks. Because they don't really support the football club. All they care about, get that bald fraud at my football club. Get that Portuguese fraud at my football club. That's what they care about. That's what they care, because that gets clicks, that gets likes. Nah, bruv. It's not in my club, bruv. I've seen a treble, bruv. You were nappies when you saw a treble, me midget. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, don't tell me about, I've seen a treble. I was at the treble. You know what I mean? We're talking about that. This is the problem with these people. Let's hope rumors of Jackson is a big joke. Jackson is not what we want. Let's be serious. Absolutely, Mr. Chimpa, my friend. Big up. That's the problem, Sal. It's Mateus Tell problem all over again. Yeah. Didn't they say that we're gonna get guys? We're gonna work it out this summer. Didn't they say that? The signs were there, Sal, when Ineos started sacking staff 20k. Ineos are a horrible regime. I agree with that. Revert 7, absolutely horrible. Those people who lost their jobs. And my theory on it is this, Revert 7. My theory is this, right? I believe that they used the sacking of all those staff, those great members of staff, as a manipulation tactic to give the illusion that they are broke. That's what I think. I think they've done that. And, business people generally do things like that to add weight to their narrative. Oh, we're so broke. We got no money. We're going to be broke by December. It's all lies, guys. It's all sensationalist headlines. It's lies, guys. And they did that because they didn't want to spend any money, as evident. Pearl, At the end of the season, rabid fans of Arsenal and Liverpool, etc., league gunner Don Huss kept complaining bitterly that their American ownership has no ambitions. Look how they. At the end of the day, look, it's not about being American. It's not about being British. It's not about being French. It's not about being Qatari. It's about what you want to do for the football club. Every single person is a different human being, right? At the end of the day, we have the worst ownership in football. We have the worst ownership in football. We have been unlucky. I don't know whether we're cursed, whatever we are, but whether it's the Glazers, whether it's Ineos, we are cursed. We've got people at our football club who don't love football, who don't care about the football club. All they care about is their pockets. That's all they care about. With Arsenal, they cannot say anything. All right, okay, yes, last season, Arsenal should have signed a striker. But was that the board's fault or was that Arteta's fault? You know what I mean? Last season, they should have signed a striker. This season, they're getting your carers. This season, they got Zubamendi. This season, they got Madueke. This season, they've got Norgard. You know what I mean? So they're going to be good next season. You know, but at least, look, and this is the thing, at least the board are backing Arteta. At least they're backing him. The same with Liverpool, Frimpong, you know, Wirtz. And they're going to get Isaac probably, or Mateta, one of those two as well. They've got Kirkes as well in there. Look, they're backing them. And the thing is, they're acting like they came 15th last season. And they need a rebuild. They are acting like that. We are acting like we won the league last season. And that is the biggest problem. We're acting like we won the league. They're acting like they came 15th. That is crazy, isn't it, Pearl? You know what I mean? The Arsenal fans, the Liverpool fans, they're going to moan. You know what I mean? But look at them. Let me just urge you to think about this for a second, right? They're moaning coming top 4. We're sitting here saying we'll be happy with top 8. You know what I mean? We got to stop this mentality. Even if we think it's unrealistic, even if we feel like you're never going to get in the top 4, we shouldn't have this mentality. We're Manchester United. The Glazers and Ineos would love us to come out here and say, yeah, we'll be happy with top 8, because what does that mean? That puts the expectations low, isn't it? If you walk into an exam and you know what, you say, right, Sal, don't worry about it. You can get an E. You get a D and E. You'll be all right? Just get a D or an E, right? You'll go, relax, wouldn't you? Whereas if you walked into the exam room and said, Sal, you better get an A. You got to get an A. You get to get an A and A star. You better get it. You're going to be under pressure and you're going to be stressed and this and that. We want that pressure. We got to get the A star. We got to go up that league. If you aim low, you will get low. You know, and this is the problem. These players are not bad players. They just have lack of ambition. They just have lack of mentality. That's all it is. They've proven they can go to the Emirates with 10 men and beat Arsenal. They've proven they can go to the Etihad and beat Man City. You know? It's crazy when you think about it. And you know, we should never lower our expectations for these guys. Absolutely not. After Amron gets the door, probably Bruno will be the next target. Bruno, at the end of the day, what I would say about Bruno, right, and I've witnessed a lot of players at Manchester United over the many decades I've been supporting them, right, what I would say is that Bruno needed to go. Whether you like it or not, 100 million was a lot of money for Manchester United at this time for a 31-year-old. Even Alex Ferguson would have sold him. But the problem is that Man United, evidently, by looking at this, are you confident that they would have reinvested that 100 million into Manchester United? You know, the way things are going now, it's pretty precarious, isn't it? That, you know, it's a big ask. It's a big risk for them to put money into Manchester United. Like, you know, they might have not. They might put it in their pocket and we'd be even more frustrated because we have one less player, like of Bruno's ilk. So I would say that looking at things now, the way everything is now, I think that, yeah, it's good that we kept Bruno. Because at the end of the day, I cannot guarantee that they would have put that money in the club. So, look, you know what? At the end of the day, it would be nice if we could have kept all our great players and, you know what, brought in some other players to accommodate Bruno and things like that as well. If Mbeumo and Cunha are two players that would. But we need more than that. Bruno needs a partner in midfield, someone who's got the legs. Of course, we're looking at Casemiro. He's looking very fit. Great, right? That's great. Hopefully, he could stay fit. Hopefully, he can have a good season. You know, because we've had a different type of Casemiro over the last couple of years, haven't we? He's not been quite as fit as he should be and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see. I've been pleasantly surprised while us United fans are just forfeited. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I've never forfeit. And I'm going to keep going on and keep saying my piece. I will keep speaking. And there are people out there in the fan base who just accept Ineos blindly and basically walking into hell with a blindfold. And what I would say is that, you know what, they are a problem as well at the football club. Those sort of people are a problem at this football club. There's those sort of people who don't want what's best for the football club. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you do. I just care about what you do for Manchester United. That's what I care about. You know, unfortunately, there are people out there, they look at where they're from, what they look like, you know, what language they speak and stuff like that. That's what they look at. And that is not the right way to approach a football ownership. What accent they got. I don't care. I care about, you know, the accent I want is this. Put money into our football club. Love the football club, you know, and want the football club to succeed. And it's not about being American. It's not about being, you know, British. It's not about being that, because at the end of the day, Todd Bowley is American. You look at, you know, Liverpool's ownership is American, you know, at the end of the day. And you look at that and you think, yeah, well, they've got the good Americans. And that's the thing. You can't paint everyone with the same brush. Manchester United have got greedy Glazers in charge. You know what I mean? Which are greedy people. You know what I mean? Very, very greedy. Team size Sky Ineos can F off. Big up, Darius. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. As well as Mbeumo, we still bloody need a goalkeeper, a centre forward, a goalkeeper, centre midfielder, maybe defensive cover. We need a right wing back. What do you think about it, We've7? Do you think we need a right wing back? I've been talking about this. Man United were linked with Stretford of Brighton and Hove Albion over the last 24 hours. Stretford is a left wing back who currently plays for Brighton and 27 years old. What I would say is that, look, Man United don't need any more left backs. We got Dorgu, we got Malacia, we got Shaw, we got Harry Amas, right? Guys, and Dalot can play there as well sometimes. So, look, we don't need a left back, okay? We need a right wing back more than anything. Why didn't we go out there and get the Vanderson? I've been saying it for a long time. There's Vanderson, a player that can change our window. Go and get Vanderson. And people say, oh, we don't need any stuff, wing backs. We do need wing backs because it's a big part of Ruben Amorim's system. It's a big part of the way Ruben Amorim plays is the wing back system. I would get Vanderson. I would get Wesley. But Wesley's not, he's not going to go. He's going to someone else. You know, I would have got those players. You know what I mean? Man United need to look at the right, not the left. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Randy, we must not pay a penny over 60 million for Mbeumo. I think we should, mate. I think he's valued at that. If Gittins is worth 55 million, Mbeumo, who scored 20 goals last season, is worth more than 60. You know what I mean? If we're going to be Glazonomics and say we're not going to pay a penny over 60 million? He's worth more than 60. He's got 20 goals last season. At the end of the day, look, I don't want to pay a penny over a million. All right, we might as well get Tyler Dibbling then, because at the end of the day, Tyler Dibbling's valued at 50 million, mate. So what is Mbeumo? You know, is Mbeumo only 10 million more than Tyler Dibbling? You know, you have to look at what the market value is. You have to look at that. How much did Chelsea buy João Pedro for? Yeah, 55, 60. You know, there you go. And Mbeumo scored 20 goals last season, more than all of those guys. You know, the highest scoring number 10 in the Premier League is Mbeumo. Their valuation of Mbeumo is correct. 63 plus add-ons, 65 plus add-ons, something like that. So at the end of the day, 70 odd million is fine. That is the valuation of a player that scored 20 goals last season. Absolutely. There is a high chance we can get Sesko around deadline. A high chance, mate. A high chance is in Man United's book is not very, very good, is it? Man United's book, a high chance. I wouldn't say a high chance, mate. I'll say a chance. I always say there's a chance. There's a chance for everything. But a high chance, nah, that's delusional, brother. Tybo, good morning, guys. Good morning, Tybo. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, mate. Hope you're blessed, my guy. Absolutely. Considering Sesko has a high potential, there's hope that, I mean, better than, even better. No. Dabizaz, stop it, mate. You're going way off, mate. Sesko's got 13 goals in 33 appearances last season. How old is he? You know what I mean? Let's look at Sesko's age, right? Let's look at Sesko's age. Right. He's 22 years old. At 22, you should be banging in more than 13 goals in 33 appearances in the Bundesliga. I won't say no to him, but I'm just saying that you can't compare him with Jokeris. You can't do that. Jokeris is a gunman, and Jokeris The unfortunate thing with Gyökeres is that no one knew about Gyökeres apart from Ruben Amorim. So Ruben Amorim brought Gyökeres in from Coventry City. You know what I mean? If we went out there and purchased Gyökeres, right? Let's say, for argument's sake, guys, Man United went out there and purchased Gyökeres from Coventry, all right? How would the fan base react? Tell me. How would the fan base react? They'd be fuming, right? We got a bloody Coventry City striker. Bloody Coventry City striker. We'll be doing that, won't we? Absolutely. Big up Ivor. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Where do you predict where the squad is as today, Man United finishing the coming season? No more at this squad right now, Ivor. The capability, the full capability of this squad, performing to the best of their ability, 1 game a week. This squad, this current squad, can get up the league. They can, but with the mentality and the players not playing in Ruben's system, I don't think they can come higher than 10th. I don't. Looking at the other teams, they might surprise us. They might get up to 6th or 5th. But the way the squad is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, can you? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't change the spots on a leopard. And that's the thing. This is why Ruben Amorim needed 5 or 6 of his own players. You know what I mean? Because if we brought in Mbeumo, I think Man United can get top 5. I do, honestly, because I think it just takes one player. Remember when Robin van Persie signed for Man United back in 2013, and it changed our dynamic. We ended up winning the league. I think Man United getting Mbeumo with Cunha, it can change the dynamic of Man United. It will change the dynamic. It will make us formidable again on an attacking front. If I was an opposition team and I see Mbeumo and Cunha, I'd be like, well, this is going to be a tough day today. Even if you think about it, I'm going to be like, this is going to be a tough game today. Mbeumo and Cunha. And every time we played Mbeumo, we struggled, Man United. You know, so if we get that and we get a striker in, I think we can have a good season. Although, if we stay like this and just have Cunha, don't expect much. I think it'd be better than last season. I don't think it'd be significantly better. That's going to get us up the league. But you never know. Ruben Amorim is going to have some time with the players. He's going to train these players. I mean, how good are they going to become? I don't know. They're looking trim, great. But at the end of the day, that doesn't win you titles, does it? We've been here before. We've been down this road before, of course. Why buying a defence? Absolutely. No, we're not buying any defenders at the moment, but we do need the replacement defenders, of course. Leach is injured. We need a left-sided centre-back, mate. Absolutely. Let me just see this. Okay, no worries. Yes, we need a bigger Albert. Hope you're doing well. Big up. I am tired of seeing potential players, to be honest, such as Sesko. The problem is Sesko. Sesko went out last season, Kenny, and he scored 27 goals, and he's absolutely a bowler, but a gunman. I would be like, yeah, get him. He's a gunman. But 13 goals in Bundesliga, guys. I mean, Tybog would tell you he's a sort of player who will score difficult chances. If you've watched him, he'll score difficult chances, but miss very, very easy chances. He's a very frustrating player. 22 years old. May is his birthday, so obviously he's early 22. So you know what, that could be in his balance. But I don't think Man United. Look, let's look at the grand scheme of things. He didn't go to Arsenal. Man United, Arsenal were negotiating with Sesko for a long time, and they didn't get over the door. So, what makes you think that Man United have a good chance of getting Sesko through the door? I don't know. It could happen. Maybe it does. Football changes in week to week to week. But you know what? If Arsenal couldn't get him through the door, if Arsenal couldn't agree a fee or agree a negotiation with Sesko, what makes you think Man United are going to do it? You know, we're so incompetent. You know, we got players begging to come to Man United. We still can't get it over the door. Absolutely. Big up. He is another Hoyland Regan. Big up Kenny. Could be, definitely. Big up Caitlin. What's going on? Did anyone ask the question? Did Jim buy United? Is he to destroy it or make them great again? I think it's destroy United because of the proof or the see. He's not doing the right stuff for United. Big up, Caitlin. Hope you're doing well, my friend. If I translate what you said, my friend, absolutely. I don't think he's here to destroy Man United. What I personally believe is that he's here to profit from Man United. I think if Man United becomes successful, it's a bonus for him. Not in the sense that, yes, we're successful, we won a league or we won a cup. Not in regards to that, but what it is, he's going to be like, yes, more money more profit. Yes, that's basically what Jim Ratcliffe's idea is at the moment in regards to Man United. He sees Man United as a pot of money, you know, milking Man United for money. That's what it is at the end of the day. He's just a British glazer at the end of the day. That's what he is. Absolutely. Guys, Samuel, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Ineos are worse than the Glazers. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got 2 Glazers now, haven't we? Dabizas, every signing could be risky. Doesn't mean we shouldn't take a chance. I mean, listen, it is risky, but look, goal scorers are judged on goals, Dabizas. I would not go to League One and buy a player who's had 46 appearances for Shrewsbury Town, 1 goal, because he's playing in the League One. You know, you have to be smart, mate. You know what I mean? You have to be smart. Look, at the end of the day, this is the Premier League. You know what I mean? This is the Premier League. And you know what? We don't have players. Sesko is the type of player that needs the ball to feet. He needs the ball in the box. He needs players creating goals. We don't do that. You know? So, I don't know. But we're not going to get him anyway. So, Chow. I take Martinez for 20 times. Yeah, I agree with that, Chow. I would agree with that. His price tag is too much. Absolutely. Bringing in a goalkeeper is as important as bringing in a striker. We could have a better than Martinez, but he is a huge improvement compared to Onana. Absolutely, Tybo. Spot on. He is a huge improvement compared to Onana. He is. He's not the goalkeeper I would want. He's not the goalkeeper that Tybo will want. But you know what? He's an improvement. I would much prefer a goalkeeper that is more less eccentric, you know, and more concentrating on goalkeeping, but he is a big improvement to Onana. Onana, as we were here last season, Tyberg, we saw what happened, didn't we? We saw the mistakes. We watched every single goal, and we saw the mistakes, and we saw Onana. Some of the goals Onana weren't blamed for were his fault. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, like his positional sense, kicking the ball out, creating indecisiveness, anxiety, and stuff like that. He's not the goalkeeper to take Man United forward. That guy was in the bloody slums playing football when he got an injury. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he got an injury probably because he's been playing in the slums for the last 22 weeks. You know what I mean? That shows how incompetence that guy is. Emi Martinez votes currently 74. Yes, big up friend for the update. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well, of course. Marco would be a good goalkeeper. Big up. Anyone would be a big goalkeeper instead of Onana. We can't use Martinez against Arsenal. Big up, Dabizas. We can. Why not? Different contract. Ineos out, Glazers out. Big up, Bradley. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up. I agree with that. Spot on. Big up. Sal, how many games Martinez suspended? Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, sorry, Dabizas. I get you. Yeah, we can't have him. But who cares, mate? It's 3 games. We suffered Onana for how many games? You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're losing for 3 games because of the red card. Who cares? So what? 3 games. Who cares? You know? We'll risk VTech. We play VTech. Give VTech a chance. You know what I mean? But I, as I said, I wouldn't buy Martinez now at the end of the day. But to say that I would pick Onana over Martinez, my estimation of your ball knowledge goes like from there all the way down to there when you say Martinez is not better than Onana. Like, come on, guys. Did you see that save against France in the World Cup final? Goalkeepers show themselves, you know what I mean? When they have to show themselves. I guarantee you Man United win that Europa League if Martinez was in goal. Trust me. Caitlin. Jim bought Amram in halfway through the season, this small season, promised him a good transfer window. He's turning his back on him. Can't blame the coach, giving the players, you know, absolutely, Caitlin, great comment. At the end of the day, brought him in with a distinctive style of play, you know, knowing that he needs his own players to fit that style of play. And they've turned their back on him. And they didn't. They lied as well. They said they're going to back in January. They said they're going to back him in the summer, and they haven't backed him. So it's disgraceful, isn't it? At the end of the day, big up, Caitlin, my friend. Big up, Dundee Dusty. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Fats, give VTech a chance. I agree. Is there anything similar to United's demise than Leeds or Everton? Nothing will be quite of the magnitude of Manchester United. Manchester United are the biggest club in the world. Leeds United were never the biggest club in the world. Although Leeds United got relegated after they went to the Champions League semi-final and they lost to AC Milan all those years ago. They had great players, but they made wrong financial decisions. They actually went out there and spent too much money they didn't have. So they ended up going bankrupt, sort of thing. So they ended up going down into the lower divisions, into a championship. I think they went down to League One. I'm not sure, but they went down to the championship. And that's it. But Man United are a different animal. Man United are like Barcelona and Real Madrid. I'm Bayern Munich. Man United would be like, if Man United got relegated, it'd be like Bayern Munich getting relegated. It'd be like that. Although Bayern Munich are a better football team than us at the moment, because obviously they win titles and win trophies. But you know what? That is how big we are as a football club. If Man United went down, it'd be like Bayern Munich. It would be like Barcelona or Real Madrid going down. That's what it'd be there. Natty, some idiot Ineos fans saying they are saving money for January. Didn't they say that in January? Exactly. Tybee was out the door 1 month. Onana has 2 years. I agree. We need to move on. This is the thing. This is the problem, isn't it, V37? You know, Alex Ferguson would have moved Onana on because we had the ability to do that. You know, we took a time to replace Peter Schmeichel. It took a long time to replace Peter Schmeichel. But luckily, we had the finances to replace him. Every time we brought in a goalkeeper, hey, he's not good. Get another one. He's not good. We get, oh, yeah, Carroll, nah, not good. Tim Howard, not good. Valdez, not good. You know, Barthez, not good. You know, and, you know, we even went with Van der Hal for a little bit as well. So it took time, but Alex Ferguson was given the tools to do that. You know what I mean? We have to buy a goalkeeper for 50 million and say, well, we can't get rid of him. He costs 50 million. Or we can't get rid of him. We can't do that. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Big up Davi's ass, by the way. I am surprised some fans, don't want Martinez. Onana cost us points as a Champions League and the Europa League spots in the last couple of years. And getting rid of him is very, very important. Exactly, Tybog. Exactly. How many... Now, let's give it an estimation, guys. Onana cost us Champions League football a year ago. I think it's a year and a half. When we lost to Galatasaray, when we got knocked out of the Champions League, remember when we played Galatasaray? We drew 3-3, even though the game was in our hands. I think we were winning 3-1, if I'm not wrong. Right. So let's give it like let's think about how much money Onana has cost us. Given he cost 50 million, he cost us the Europa League. Guys, any goalkeeper, competent goalkeeper would save that goal against Tottenham. He went down like a sloth. Right? Any competent goalkeeper would save that. Now let's think about this. How much money has Onana cost us overall? He cost us, 20 points last season, guys? Apparently. And that is mistakes, right, that weren't even registered. There's mistakes that weren't even registered. I can give you mistakes even when he's standing on the wrong side of the goal, weren't classed as a mistake. When he parries the ball out to an opposition player, weren't classed as a mistake. And how many times did he do that? I would say he's cost us 30 goals, 30 points last season. Probably something like that. Now, you add 30 points to Man United's tally right now. There is no substitute for a competent goalkeeper, which we would tell you. We've seen Peter Schmeichel. Tybog's seen Peter Schmeichel. Tybog's seen Van der Sar. We've even seen David De Gea, haven't we? I'm looking at all the goalkeepers in Man United's history, and I think about Jim Leighton. I think about the great Les Seeley. I think about these players, and I think about, even Kevin Pilkington in the 90s, or I go like that, and I think all these goalkeepers are better than Onana. All these goalkeepers are better than Onana, and they were deemed not good enough for Man United. Carroll's better than Onana. Tim Howard is better than Onana. And this is what we have to face reality here, guys. And these goalkeepers were not good enough for Man United. So what makes you think that they are good enough for Man United? What makes you think Onana's good enough for Man United? We need to look up our standards. You know what I mean? Big up Tybog, absolute legend, of course. Don't forget you can become a member, guys. Thank you so much. I've got great content coming up. Watch this space, guys. These rants impressions low. Big up these rants impressions, bruv. Nah, bruv. He's a bull fraud, bruv. Get him out my club, bruv. Get him out my club. Nah, bruv. I need the cap, guys. I need the cap. Nah, bruv. That is what he does. You know what I mean? And then you got expressions there. You know what I mean? He's looking at him. Even expressions, guys. Expressions, right? Looks at rants like he's an idiot, and that's his own brother. He goes, yeah. Expression would say something like this. Yeah, but he's not got his players though. No, that's not the point, bruv. You can't come 15th, bruv. Blah blah blah. There you go. And then you got Spurs fans. Even Spurs fans are bloody telling you, no, he hasn't even got his players though, bruv. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up, Michael. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. I would rather keep Højlund and Xerxes than sign Jackson. Me too, mate. I would rather keep Højlund and Xerxes sign Jackson. So good. Such a good comment. You had to say it twice. Big up yourself. Legends like Young should stand up of Amorim, and not with the Glaze. Absolutely, Jim took the broader picture. We need the best players to get where we are to belong. Don't talk nonsense about the coach. Give him the player. I agree with that. Absolutely, okay, spot on. Spot on. But people, unfortunately, are going to, of course. Big up, Rasta. Hope you're well. Good to see you, mate. Lee, the three amigos back. Their mates, toxicity rules the club. Big up, absolutely, Lee. Hope you're doing well. I would rather sign Janet Jackson over Ladley Jackson. Big up, my friend. Big up, mate. Oh, God. I want Nicholas Jackson at Old Trafford, Sal. I want Nicholas Jackson at Old Trafford. All right, mate. Well, you know, some people like Slipknot. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean they make good music. No, you don't want Nicholas Jackson at Old Trafford. Oh, my goodness me. No. It's Michael Banthwaite, isn't it? I would rather keep Hoyland and Xerxes than sign Jackson. Absolutely. Big up. Nah, Michael, no more Chelsea rejects. No, in this club, we would get a lot quicker than to sign him. 50 million as well, Kenny. 50, 60 million. He's not worth that amount of money. We'll be absolutely madness. Mental to do that. Hey, what's going on, lads? How are we doing in the world? Sell Rasmus, Rashford, Raz Garnacho, and buy Isak. Done. That would be lovely, lies around me. But would Isak sign for Manchester United? That's the biggest question, isn't it? Would Isak sign for Man United? You know what I mean? Why would he? You know, I bet you got an A star for art, Sal. Yeah, I'm an artist. Yeah, I got an A. Sorry, I'm not lying. I did. I did. I'm an artist though, but I worked for Nickelodeon and things like that. I done work for Dexter's Laboratory and things like that. I've done work in regards to cartoons, and I'm a cartoonist, not much of an art, but cartoonist. Big up, Revert 7. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the compliment. I would sign a goalkeeper and a striker instead of Mbeumo. What do you think? No, I will sign all of them, Hamsi. I don't think we should lower it because I honestly think, Hamsi, I don't know what you think, but I honestly think that the Mbeumo signing is going to be a revitalizing, dynamical change to Manchester United. Because we're having Mbeumo and Cunha working with each other in tandem with each other, which will be absolutely fire, I think. I think if we had Mbeumo and Cunha, and we put a striker in there, I honestly think surprising things could happen next season, guys. Really do. Trust me, bruv. Big up Revert 7. I only got a B. Big up. Not only. That's quite good, mate. Teams that are good are getting... in regards to maths and English and humanities and science, it's like learning the alphabet. I got really bad ones. Teams are good at getting better. Where does it leave us? Our name is all that is good. Everything else is a nightmare. What are the board members doing? I agree with that. Caitlin, don't need to write in capitals, my friend. I get you, brother. I get you. Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you very much. Caitlin, my friend, should I say. Sorry. Big up, Fanatic. Hey, welcome, you legend. How you doing, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Adbel, what's going on? Will we ever get the Mbeumo? It's amazing how United managed to ruin the day, even if in an off season. Big up, Adel, absolutely, mate. They've completely taken the enthusiasm and joy out of this transfer, haven't they, guys? Really have, haven't they? Absolutely. Actually, Cunha and Mbeumo are both goal scorers. We need both. And, of course, a goal striker also urgent. Absolutely healthy. Big up. Mark, good morning. You're a racist muppet. How am I racist, mate? How am I racist? Guys, can you tell this guy how am I racist? Do you know where I'm from? Do you know where I'm from, mate? Do you know? Do you have an inkling where I'm from? Let me tell you a little story about my life, right? My dad is from Pakistan. My mum is English white. I come from a mixed race family. I have Jewish, German, Muslim in my family. You want to talk about race, guys? You really do want to talk about that. You want to talk about that. Born in England, Italian wife. You know, what else do you want to talk about this, mate? Just go on your white horse, you silly prat. Absolutely. Dabby's ass. No, Michael, I'm talking about who the fans are going to turn on next. Absolutely. It will be Ruben Amorim, I can gather. Beef Bully, need to move on from Mbeumo. Jackson links are funny. Yeah. Big up, Beef Bully. Milton. There are Man United supporters globally. It's been a huge fan base. Big up, my friend. Absolutely. And Diego Leon on the left. Big up, Fanatic 8. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Exactly. Look, listen. We don't need a left back. Fanatic 8. We don't need a left back. Exactly. We got a left back, and Diego Leon is ready, I think. I think Harry Amas is ready as well. You know what I mean? We don't need another left back. We've got enough left backs. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Natty. You absolute legend. I think it might not be the negotiations itself for Mbeumo. It's an upfront payment and bank guarantee. The Brentford is not agreeing. This is what we're saying. It is the negotiations. It's the payment structure. I heard it from very valuable people. It's the way Man United want to pay for the deal. Man United want to pay in installments. They don't mind paying more for the deal, but they want to pay installments. That's the thing, Davies ass. And Brentford don't want that. They want money up front, as I've been talking about for weeks. Natty, Sal, the players lean. We are cooking next season. Absolutely. You think I talk that Dabizas? I don't talk crap. I speak to a lot of journalists out there as well. So, Lean, we are cooking next season. Hopefully, mate. Oh, Leon is cooking next season. Big up. 65 minutes about right, Milton. Absolutely. I could see us. I see us getting panicked by seriously agents faffing about. Big up, Beef Bully. Probably. I mean, we get the Fellaini moments again. PSG, City, Chelsea, all at some point were paying more for players. United should understand that they are now they're just to pay up. Absolutely, Michael. I agree with that. Pay up or shut up. Absolutely. Hey, Sal. Good morning. Good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well, Sammy. Good to see you again. Good morning, Jim. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, my friend. Hope you're well. Big up, everyone. Big up, Sammy, of course. We must pay the price, asking price on Mbeumo. I agree with that. So they either pay up, you know what I mean, or move on. Your carriers are still improving in the league. No one has guaranteed success in the Premier League. That is true. But then again, you know what I mean? You deal with averages here. You deal with law of averages. You deal with, you know, is he more likely to score goals? Answer is yes, isn't it, Jim? Because the goal shape doesn't change. The goal is still the same size. So if someone is putting the ball on a plate for your carriers, he's going to put the ball in the back of the net, right? He's proven in the Champions League as well. So he's going to put the ball in the back of the net. If someone is proven to put the ball in the back of the net, the goal isn't bigger, it isn't smaller. So he will put the ball in the back of the net. It's a bit like when you signed Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was on 40 goals a season when we signed him, you know, from PSV. The goal doesn't change. He's going to put the ball in the back of the net because he's going to get that ball to feet in the box and he's going to fire that ball in the back of the net. That's the one thing with strikers. When you look at strikers, that's the one time you could look at stats. You could look at goals because goals are very important for strikers. And goals show that you can put the ball in the back of the net, regardless what league you're playing in my opinion. Aside here, lifting, can Chelsea win the Premier League next year? He's got more money as well. Team starting to click. Yeah, they're starting to click. They're going to be dangerous next season, Beef Bully. I agree. Absolutely. Another one that is going to be ahead of us. You know what I mean? Absolutely. I actually want Chelsea to win the EPL. EPL should stay competitive. I don't want them to win the EPL. Wanting is completely different, Dabizas. I don't want to say that. It is only July. I don't want Chelsea to win the league. You know what I mean? Prefer is another word. Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. Your United knowledge is awful at the end of the day. Is it really, mate? I've got more knowledge in my little finger. I've got more knowledge in this than you have in your whole entire brain, mate. So listen, at the end of the day, you want to come on here, you want to talk about Man United, let's bring it in. Let's ask you some questions about Man United. You wouldn't have a bloody clue, a Scooby-Doo, mate, on what I know about Man United. This is why, you know what, I have this platform and you don't, mate. So listen, just be quiet and on your way. You silly little prat, mate. You're just a little hater, mate. He's going away. Goodbye, you bloody ugly muppet. There we go. Gone. It is all gone. It is all gone. It is all gone. Sal, do you think we should get Ollie Watkins? If it's a last choice, I think Man United should go for that. I think he's a goal scorer. If we had no other players that we could go for, I think we would go for that. Sal, do your carriers score against us? Oh, please, Beef Bully. Don't say that, mate. Please don't say that. They're awful. I think Man United will beat Arsenal in the first game of the season, Beef Bully. I've got a feeling. Maybe he will score, but I think Man United will win. Absolutely. I'm just seeing past season stats. Martinez didn't do much compared to Onana, and some areas Onana was slightly... Oh, come on, mate. Listen, Dabizas, please, go to bed, bruv. Come on, mate. No. Let's look at what Martinez did, what Onana didn't do, shall we? You know, how many goals did lead to goals? How many mistakes led to goals? Look it up. Thank you so much, Abel. My Adele, what's going on, my friend? Thank you so much for the super chat. You absolute legend. Are the owners so clueless to realize that football is success equals financial success? Absolutely. Liverpool bagged circa 800 million last season. Exactly, mate. And Liverpool will continue, Adele. Liverpool will continue. As much as Liverpool are continuing to sign players, they're going to have more chance of winning titles. They're going to be more chance of winning the league. And every single season, they're going to get 100 million, 100 million, 100 million, not including the sponsorships and stuff like that come on top of that. They're going to move further and further away from Man United. Now, there was a time when Man United were moving further and further away from Liverpool. Now, other teams are going to move further. Liverpool are going to move further and further away from us, as are Chelsea, as are Arsenal. You know, it's ridiculous. Thank you so much, Adele, for the super chat. You absolute legend. Really appreciate the support, my friend. You absolute diamond. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate that. I get your point, Adel Sam, but Liverpool didn't cash in 80 million, buddy. Big up everyone, though. Big up Adel. Big up everyone who's joined me today. Let's read this fun fact from Roy. Fun fact, Man United were actually relegated in the 1980s, so the jokes were actually real just once. 1974, mate, we got relegated. Not 1980s, mate. 1974. Just to get you right. Just to get you straight, Roy. Man United been relegated once in 1974, mate. Absolutely. Arsenal been relegated too, by the way, in the 1920s, around that time. Absolutely. So, guys, testing football knowledge with me, Sal. Guys, thank you so much for joining me, everyone. You're absolute legends. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video. That'd be absolutely fantastic, guys. And please don't forget to put the notifications on, because if I go live, if anything breaks, I will be live, guys. So that would be absolutely amazing if we do go live, because that means we've actually done something of significance, isn't it, at the end of the day, guys? So, guys, absolutely. So, guys, take it easy. Have a great day. Have a great night. Big up Jacob the Walker. Big up everyone. I will be back later on for Chatterbox. Don't forget to join me for that, guys. Have a great day, and I shall see you later on. Peace.